Hi everyone. Now today we're going to turn to Daniel 3. This is a powerful chapter that challenges us to stand firm in our faith, even when the flames of a trial that we are going through seems unbearable. This is the well-known account of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, three men who refused to bow down to King Nebuchadnezzar's golden image. Now, their unwavering defiance led them directly into the fiery furnace. But what transpired there revealed not only God's protection, but his presence in the midst of a trial. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar, in his arrogance, constructed a towering golden image, 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide, and gave orders that at the sound of music, all must bow down and worship it. This wasn't merely a political decree, it was a spiritual test. Nebuchadnezzar's pride had reached a height where he sought not just loyalty, but divine honor, seeking worship that rightfully belonged to God alone. But instead, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the loyal servants of Yahweh, stand resolutely against this demand. To them, bowing would be a betrayal of the true God. So instead, they hold firm to the first commandment: you shall have no other gods before me, as given in Exodus 20, verse 3. Now, when their refusal is brought to the king, it's not just an act of rebellion, it's an act of faithfulness, a declaration that they will not compromise the truth, no matter what the cost. Enraged, Nebuchadnezzar summons the three men and gives them one final chance: bow or face the furnace. But their response is not one out of defiance or out of anger. It is a profound declaration of faith when they say, if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold that you have set up. This is faith at its most pure and powerful, not based on what God will do for them, but based on their trust in his sovereign will. They know God can deliver them, but their devotion to him is not conditional upon their survival. Their obedience to God is unwavering, even in the face of death. So, in his rage, Nebuchadnezzar orders that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual. His soldiers, the strongest in the kingdom, are then commanded to throw the three men into the blaze. The heat is so intense that the soldiers die from the flames, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are cast into the furnace, bound and helpless. But then, as Nebuchadnezzar watches from a distance, something astonishing happens. Instead of seeing the three men consumed by flames, he sees 4 men walking freely in the fire. They are unbound and unharmed. The king, in his amazement, exclaims, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the fourth looks like the son of the gods." Now, who is this fourth figure? Well, the Bible does not confirm this, but many believe this to be the pre-incarnate appearance of Christ, a divine presence not only to protect them, but to walk with them in their suffering. You see, God doesn't merely deliver us from the fire, he meets people and us in the midst of our trials. You see, he's not a distant deity, he's not unaware of our trials, but instead he is the one true God who enters the flames with us. So, when the 3 men emerge from the furnace, they are untouched. They have no singed hair, no burned clothes. Not even the smell of smoke clings to them. Nebuchadnezzar, witnessing this miracle, is humbled and astonished. He praises the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and decrees that no one in his kingdom may speak against him. In the midst of a pagan empire, God's power and sovereignty are declared. The question often asked is, where was Daniel in this pivotal moment? While the Bible doesn't really provide any details on this. The most plausible explanation is that Daniel, due to his high status in Nebuchadnezzar's court, was either away on royal business or exempt from the decree. Knowing Daniel's history of unwavering commitment to God, it is unlikely that he would have bowed to the image. God, in his sovereignty, had a different plan for Daniel at that moment, one that would serve to highlight the faith of his three friends. Now, here is the application for today. This story is not merely an ancient account, it speaks directly to our lives in the modern world. Every believer faces trials that can be viewed as fiery furnaces of our own, where the world pressures us to compromise, to bow to idols of comfort, status, or a proposed government provided safety and false security. But like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we must make a stand. We are called to stand firm even in the face of fear. The fear of man should never outweigh our reverence for God. Our obedience matters more than the temporary consequences we might face. Now, a real-world example of this might be standing firm in your convictions even when pressured in your workplace, to just go along with the status quo in order not to make any waves. You see, God does not always remove us from the fire, but He promises to be with us through it. He walks with us through every trial, giving us strength, comfort, especially when we need it most. Whether it's in this life or the next, God is our ultimate deliverer. Even when we don't understand why we must face certain trials, we must trust in His sovereignty and power to bring us through. Notice how the faith of these three men affected by the king of Babylon used their boldness to stand for God. And this landed up causing Nebuchadnezzar to declare God's greatness. You see, our faith too can make a profound impact on the world around us. As we face our own fiery trials, whether in relationships, work, or personal struggles, please let us remember that the same God who delivered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is with us. He sees our faithfulness. He walks with us, and He is in control. So stand firm, for the fire is never the end of the story. God is always in control, and His plan for us is always greater than the trial itself. Next time, we will continue working our way through Daniel, and I hope this message has encouraged you to stand firm. Until next time, thanks for watching.